Hey guys, it's me, Mr. Morris, and I'm going to talk to you guys about your final product, what it is you're going to do with the books that you've been reading for the last several weeks. This is what you're going to do. You are going to write a very detailed paper about your book. So let's talk about it. What you're going to do is you are going to pick a character from your book and you're going to go into detail on the beliefs of that character, the values of that character, and the rules of that character throughout the book. You are going to have an entire paragraph about the beliefs, because that was one of your subclaims up here. And you're going to give evidence on which page you're talking about. As you can see how I highlighted it. And I want the word underlined beliefs, and I want highlighted and underlined page numbers. And I want actual parts from the book. More on this in a moment. Okay. You're going to have a paragraph on the values. Same thing, underline the word values, and of course, page numbers with evidence showing the values of the character. And then, of course, you're going to have a paragraph on the rules of the character. Underline the word rule or rules, and then highlight the page number and give evidence of your character following the rules. And then down here, a conclusion. Okay? So, how do we do this? Well, let me show you. You're going to be getting this template, and you fill in as you go. Just kind of like the Satomers, you fill in what you need. For instance, the character Sarah from the book Sarah's Keys gives some background. Okay, let's see what I have. The character Sarah from the book Sarah's Key by Tatiana de Rosnay, that's the author's name, is a 10-year-old Jewish girl from Paris, France. She and her parents got arrested during the Vel de Vive Roundup, which is the French roundup of the Jews. Sarah wanted to save her brother, so she locked him in a secret cupboard, thinking that she would be back to save him in time. Little did she know she was being sent to a concentration camp. Have I got your interest now? Notice how I kind of gave a quick summary of the whole book for the blue. That's like my thesis. So here, you are going to give a background pretty much of the book. Give the background, summarize the book, but don't give away all the details, kind of like I did with Sarah's Key. And don't forget to tell us who the author is. Make sure you tell us from the book, whatever your book title is, by the author, and then give the author's name. Now, when I go back down here, the first part we're going to talk about for our subclaim is beliefs. I have the beliefs of this character in the book are thinking that she's going to be able to get back in time or back home to save her brother and live a normal life. So let's go back to the template. The beliefs of this character in the book are give a general belief that that character has that kind of thematically goes throughout the book. Okay? So make sure you give not a lot of detail, but you give us some background on a belief. Then he or she values, depending on your character, if it's a boy or a girl, values that, well, let me go back here. She values her family and the time she got to spend together before she separated and the key she was going to use to save her brother. She values the key and her family. Okay? So you're going to do that right here. That's purple. I guess the one I have is kind of yellowish. And then finally, in orange, this character has rules that they follow, like, and then give an example. This character has rules that they follow, like needing to hide when the police are around and not being able to escape the concentration camp. So take a look at this first paragraph. We have our thesis, which we have in blue. We have our first subclaim, which is beliefs. We have, again, mine's kind of mustard colored, isn't it? We have the, oh, I just flipped that. That's weird. Go back. We have the values right here. And then my third subclaim is right here about rules. And again, notice how it follows exactly like the template. So here's the first paragraph. All right, let's take a look at the second paragraph. Please give examples and evidence from the book supporting your answer, and make sure you use page numbers and evidence from the book, just like you do in your jots. My character has different beliefs at different times throughout the book, so you're going to show us different types of beliefs. I want something early, something in the middle of the book, and something towards the end, showing beliefs. In the beginning of the book, the name believes that the book shows or says, give us proof, and then the page number. Later in the book, he or she starts to believe that, give some evidence, page number. I think this because the book says that give a quote from a book, take something directly from the book showing why you say that on whatever page number that is right there. In the book, his or her beliefs change to, by changing the character's beliefs throughout the story, the author shows that, and then fill in your information. Let's take a look at the example. My character has different beliefs at different times throughout the book. At the beginning of the book, Sarah believes, notice how I underline belief and believes, so I know it's there. She'll be able to go back and unlock the cupboard to save her brother, continue to live the life she was. When Sarah first locked Michel, that's her brother's name in French, in the cupboard, the book shows on page 9, Sarah saying, "I'll come back for you later. I promise," showing that belief. Later in the book, page 19, so 10 pages later, Sarah starts to believe that she was not going to get hurt and that she was still going to get home. I think this is because the book says she was safe, she thought. She was safe with her mother and her father. She was not going to last long. This was the French police, not the Germans. No one was going to harm them because these were her hometown police. In the book, her beliefs change. Okay, now we're starting to talk about change towards the end. By starting to believe that she won't be able to get home fast enough as she thought. The author shows that when Sarah finally got back to her old apartment, it was too late. On page 160, the book says, "A rotten stench hit her like a fist. She drew away. The boy at her side recoiled, afraid. Sarah fell to her knees." By changing the character's beliefs through the story, this shows that her brother's death completely changed her life. That's a powerful paragraph. Okay, I didn't write this. Another student did from last year. This is a wonderful writing, by the way. Notice the beliefs and the pages and the evidence to prove why. The writer said, the person who wrote this outline, this paper, talks about why they believe that's what's going on in the book. Now I'm going to drop down to this purple. It's purple here, but I guess it's yellow on the example, right? My character has different values throughout the book. I'm not going to read this whole thing because it's kind of the exact same thing as up above for beliefs, but this has to do with values. Down below here, this has to do with the rules. You need page numbers. You need evidence from the book, direct evidence from the book, either the character saying that or the book showing something. And then let's get down here. We'll get to the conclusion in a second. Let's go over here and see what our young author wrote. My character has the same values. Notice underline. Notice the page number. Notice the evidence. Notice how she's giving evidence in everything she says as to why the character values that. Let's drop down here. Sarah follows the same rules. Notice rules are underlined. The page numbers are highlighted. We have evidence directly from the book. And notice page 3, page 32, page 150. Notice how it's jumping around to show the beginning, page 8, kind of in the middle, 23, maybe not that far in the middle. And finally, 219, showing the end of the book on how her values change for the middle part. Okay, let's take a look at the conclusion. In conclusion, my character in the book, Sarah's Key, is Sarah. All of her beliefs, values, and rules formed her the person that she was. Because of her beliefs, she was able to break the rules and escape the concentration camp. She escaped by going under a sharp barbed wire fence, leaving lots of wounds. She spelled wounds. It's supposed to be wounds. This is because she used the valued key to convince the guards to let her go. The key was her only motivation to get her back home to Michel, her brother. Sarah was able to get back to Paris, but unfortunately it was too late. And Michael died in the cupboard. It's a sad book. Later in life, Sarah decided she couldn't live with the regret of knowing that it was her fault that her little brother had died, and so she committed suicide. It's a rough book. It is important that the author changes the beliefs and values and rules of this character because it shows how one or multiple events can change someone's life forever. Man, it's a beautiful conclusion. Take a look at what we have for the template. Conclusion. How can you connect the character's changing beliefs, values, and rules to the outside world? Why do you think it is important that the author does this? In conclusion, my character in the book is important for the authors to do this in their writing because, and then connect, kind of like the example up here is, connect how basically wrapping up the summary of the book and why the author shows your character in your book going through the changes of their beliefs, their values, and their rules. Okay, we're expecting a 5-paragraph paper. This is what it looks like. I'll even make it a little smaller so you can check it out. But this is what a 5-paragraph, 14-point, double-spaced essay looks like. 14-point font, double-spaced. This is what it looks like. Notice how, once again, the blue is the thesis, and then you have the red, of course, this is the mustard yellow, and the orange subclaims. And then, of course, just like a Satomer, you have a whole section on the first subclaim with pages and evidence. The second section is values with pages and evidence. And the third section is rules with pages and evidence with a nice summarized conclusion. If you follow the template, which is right here, that's what you're going to end up with. Spelling counts a lot. You must spell your words correctly and you must capitalize and put punctuation where needed. All right, good luck. This video should give you enough. If not, we will work with you and answer any questions you have. Make sure you know your character in your book. Do not just make stuff up because we will be checking. We're going to be incorporating other teachers involved in this. Plus, I'll be talking to other people in your book group to get more background in your book. I've read some of your books, but not all of them. So if I have a question, I might go to another person in your book group and say, hey, on page 27, explain something to me. So make sure your evidence is good. Make sure it backs up what you say. And make sure you have good writing, because this to me is very, very, very good writing. And I know you guys have it in you. All right. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.